Hi guys, welcome to James's Car Craze, and today I'm back with another video with the Alpine A110 GT. In short, it is basically a French Lotus. Very light, full aluminium body, 1.8 litre turbocharged engine kicking out 300 horsepower in this spec. For a car that weighs just over a tonne, that 300 horsepower, you do notice it in this car. Gonna go through all the usual things with you today. Gonna do the quick exterior tour of the vehicle, then we'll move into the interior where I should do a full interior walkthrough, including the full super in-depth tutorial of the infotainment system and the digital drivers cluster. Without further ado guys, we shall move on with the video. Big thank you to Alpine UK for the loan of this vehicle today. They've really helped in sourcing this vehicle for the loan period. Without further ado guys, let's have a little look around. So starting off with the front of the car, this is a modern copy of the original Alpine A110, identified quite clearly. You've got your two main headlights and then your high beam lights in the centre there, which do foil your full beam. They've also got your angel ring lights on there as well, which is quite a nice feature. As I said, this is a full aluminium body, so it is very light. I got it in this really nice dark blue. A lot of Alpines in a really light blue, but this one here is a really nice dark blue. Can't remember what the official Alpine colour is, what it's called, but it is a really nice blue. Move on to the wheels, 18-inch alloy wheels. These are a very nice designer wheel. They're very aerodynamic as well. In there you've got your Alpine twin pot calipers and of course your big vented disc in there. Along the side of the vehicle, it is a French car, so you do get some French tributes with the French flag on the back there. This is a mid-engine car, so your air ducts are either side of the car there. Moving back down again on the bottom here, so Alpine's quite clever. This has got an electronic handbrake, which a lot of modern cars have now. Normally with cars with electronic handbrake you get another caliper sort of there. On the Alpine, to save weight, it's all integrated into the rear caliper, which saves X amount of weight, which means this car can be kept as light as possible. Your little A's are a bit grubby because there's so much rubbish on the road at the time of filming, but you've got your little A's, your Alpine A's in there. Moving on to the back of the vehicle, again it's a really nice back of the vehicle. Your nice little lights in there, which is very good, integrating all your indicators and everything in there. The exhaust system, it's a very nice system. I said it's only a 1.8, but the active exhaust in there just makes it sound like a really nice premium car. Your diffuser at the bottom there as well, give you a little bit more rear end grip. It is a rear engine, a rear wheel drive engine car, sorry. Moving round, obviously same business on the other side. Same little vent in there. Door handles. Fuel filler cap, that is on, just push door open, that is on the driver's side. It's got the easy fill system on there as well, so there's no little flaps to unscrew. You just put the nozzle in. It's a double flap system, so there's no possibility of any siphoning going on with your fuel. There we go guys, so it's a bit bright, but that is the exterior of the car. Let's move on to the interior. So guys, we are in the interior of the A110 GT now. I'm going to go through first of all the digital driver's display. So if I just zoom in here, oh there we go, it stopped flashing now. So the little flashing you saw just a second ago, that's not what you can see with your naked eye. That's just because of the screen and the refresh rates and blah 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 over camera. Makes it look like it's flashing, but it's not. It is solid, I promise. When we first get in the car, it's doing it again. You are gifted with this screen. You've got the Alpine A110 in the middle there. Tells you that obviously this is the GT model, so it tells you what model of A110 you've got, and then how many miles the vehicle's done in there. Gonna go and turn the ignition on. So when I do that, I do get my dials. So on the left you have your rev counter, and on the right you have your speed. Sorry, let me turn the music down. So there's not a massive amount of customization that can be done with your driver's display, unlike others you get in similar cars. But again, this is a really light car. The aim of this car is to be as light, basic as possible. Nothing on it that you don't need to keep it a true little sports car. Again, I apologise for the flashing. It's not doing that with me sitting here. It's just purely that this only does it on camera. So at the moment, obviously the vehicle is off, so there's no revs, anything like that. Your revs, not only you get the traditional dial, you also get the digital display in there for your revs, and then on the right, same with your speed, you get a speed display there, and of course your little needle there. And then these little things here, you get your temperature, which it is outside, your fuel gauge, and you get a nice little clock there as well, which I believe, yeah, it's a bit out at the moment, the clock. Fuel, when it's on this screen, you don't actually get a digital readout to tell you exactly how many miles you've got. You only get that when you go into the sport mode. To go into the sport mode in your sports screen, you just press the sport button on the steering wheel, and that will bring you onto your sports mode screen. Immediately on the left, you've got your coolant level. You still get your revs in there, and then on the right, you've also got your speed. Because it's in sport mode, the dials at the top have changed, so you also get a readout of your newton meters of torque and your horsepower output at any given time. Obviously, when you move the throttle, that will change accordingly on there. Where are we? Bottom is you got a nice little bit of a French flag there. Tells me obviously that I'm not wearing my seatbelt at the moment, and it tells you that the parking brake is applied. If I move it this way, and then on the right there, guys, you have your fuel gauge, and on the sports screen it also tells you how many miles you've got until empty. Obviously the miles will vary depending on your driving style. There is a couple more screens you can access by pressing these two little buttons on the ends here. There's not a lot of customization there. I think it's because the vehicle. I think it's because the vehicle's off. We're not actually. There we go. So you get a G display. Sorry, the car's just got off again. Oh, there we go. When the car goes on and off, you get a little nice little sort of bit of decoration. Now I'm going to start the car. So to start the car, foot on the brake, press the start button, and there we go. You do get a nice rumble when you do start the engine first time. Lovely stuff, cool. So I'm going to scroll through those screens again and see what we actually have on there. So at the moment, tyre pressures doesn't actually show at the moment. Oh no, I lie, there we go. Yeah, so you select your screen via these buttons here, and then press that to activate the actual screen. So at the moment, as I said, you've got your trip computer there, 29.6 miles to the gallon, which, you know, is really good for a sports car on there. Let me see what others. Yeah, that's your G reading, your turbo boost, your brake force reading, all on there. As you can see, when I move the brake, you can see how much pressure I'm actually putting on that brake. When I accelerate, you can see what the engine's doing on there. Actual G reading. As I said, that's your revs on there. So when I increase the revs increase accordingly on there. Settings menu, press and hold. Aha, there we go. So this gives you a couple of extra dials on there. Let's try and go back. There you go. So you got lock doors when in motion, parking assist rear, that's all on, parking assist front, automatic night mode, so that dims all your settings, clock, which is wrong, Then you got, so basically this is just your quick settings without actually having to go into the main part of the car. Scroll down again. Really guys, that is everything in terms of what customization you get on your digital driver's display. Let's just pop it back in sport for a moment. You might have heard the exhaust note in the back change. Again, you know, you just cycle through your settings on there. I'm just going to turn the ignition off again guys, because we're now going to go to the sensor infotainment screen, which is here. It's the same system you get in pretty much all Renaults these days, so it will be familiar if you have had a Renault before. It is a very basic system compared to other models, but again, you know, this is meant to be a sports car. Some people even going as far as calling it a baby supercar. You don't need what you don't need on such system. When you get into the car, that is the screen that will greet you. You've got your navigation there. Obviously I've got my phone connected, so it will also tell you what your phone is doing as well. Obviously at the moment it's playing some music in the background. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay you do get with this, however it is plug-in only and it does not support wireless. If you do have a cable though, the ports are somewhere down here. There they are. So you've got two USB ports in there. You've also got a 3.5mm aux jack, which you can plug in an MP3 player. If you've got an old iPod, you can plug that in on there. So to go onto your menu, again, there's not a huge amount to talk to you regarding this infotainment system. It is a very basic, no-nonsense system. Navigation, that will take you to your full navigation screen. Again, it is a Renault navigation system, very basic, but you know, if you're not bothered about lane assist or things like that, that system will do you just fine. Let's just go back and back and back. There we go. Radios, so obviously it will channel through. It's got a full DAB radio system in here. At the moment it's on Capital, but you can go through your lists of radio stations on there. It's not the most responsive system that I've tested, but again, you know, it's not the sort of car where, you know, you'd want to spend a lot of time on the infotainment system. Music, so at the moment, I said my phone's actually, let me pause that. My phone is actually connected at the moment, so you do get all of your music controls on there, as well as all of your songs which you have downloaded onto your system. Phone, I won't go on to that because it is connected to my phone, so there'll be personal things on there, but phone, so that will come up with all your call logs with your hands-free calling on there. Applications, so video and photo, you can save any sort of photos or videos to the vehicle while you want to. I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure you can't use those as then backgrounds for your screen. Car information, so this is just all your licensing and your map updates and your software updates. It's all sort of some of them are over-the-air updates as well, which is quite nice. You know, so you go for check for updates. I'm not going to do that at the moment, but that's how you would check for an update. Settings, so the settings are for your displays and certain vehicle features in the car. You click on displays, so your central display, daytime, that is how bright you want the screen during the day. And then you could also, when the mode's active, you can then select how bright you want the screen to be in the evening. Sound, so internal welcome, so when you open a door you do get a slight little welcome tone there. The key press sound, so that is just the audio feedback when you start clicking things on there. When you go onto sound, you do get a sub menu at the bottom, so if you go onto audio, you can change all your audio settings on there. It is a Focal premium audio system, although that said, it's a good system. It is a good system. Maybe not the customization that you'd have on other vehicles, but again, you know, this isn't a review, this is a tutorial. Media volume, you can select, obviously you can select it manually like that, or there's some controls underneath the steering wheel that we'll get to in a minute which you can control that. Ambient, so that's your auto EQ. At the moment I've got it on club mode, because I think on club mode, you know, for my type of music, EDM music, you know, you want like decent bass, which is quite nice. So alternatively, you can go to bass, medium and treble, and you can play with all those settings yourself on there. And then wrong one. Things like your balance, you know, exactly whereabouts you want the where exactly you want the balance coming from. Volumes and speed, sort of how quickly you want to change the volume. Audio sources, consistent volume. So when you turn that on, all of your phone music or your iPod or the radio, when you flick between, one won't be louder or quieter than the other. It all balances the same level of sound, which is quite handy. Your voice controls on there, so this does have voice control on here. Again, it's a Renault voice control system. I've never had any experience with Renault voice control systems. I haven't actually used this system on test yet because, well, to be honest, I don't get on with, you know, if you say, yeah, call John, and it'll be like, yeah, launching rocket into space. You know, it's not. What voice control works for some, doesn't work for some, but there we go. Anyway, so voice type, you can set your response to male or female depending on what your preference is. Voice guidance, so that'll be things like, oh yeah, you're not wearing a seatbelt, and things like that. Phone, so you can select how sort of loud you want the ringtone in the phone. Hands-free phones, so when it's playing, again, that's just more volume settings on there. Voice recognition, how loud you want the basically how loud you want that to appear. That's everything on the sound. Languages and keyboard, of course, obviously we're in the United Kingdom, so it is set on UK. Date and time at the moment, so it's setting automatically based on what my phone is actually saying. Device manager, all your phones on there. Units, kilometers, miles. In the UK we use miles, but you know, other countries do use kilometers. Edit homepages, so this is pretty much the only customization that you can do on this car. It's again similar to what Renault systems have. As you can see, when I got into the vehicle, the home screen was this layout here, so you get your navigation, and you've also got your phone and your USB or your aux information on there. You can have multiple pages. You can, let me go on to the second screen. Second screen, for example, I added you know, more detailed song information on there. Just for example, to add something, I don't know, let's go for a normal clock. So I tap where I want the clock, and there we go, I'll have a clock on that little screen on there. Weather I've already got on there, and then you could also select how big or small you do want those icons. So if you want a whole page sort of dedicated to it, so let's go to that one. Navigation, there we go, that's all appeared on there. User profile, that is just, you know, you can select how many users you want on there. I won't change the profile, but you can have different users with different settings and then select what users actually use in the car, which is quite nice. That's the system settings. Vehicle settings, again, you know, there's not a lot on there. Rear view camera, as you can see, the camera is on there. You can select how bright you want the rear camera, your contrast, the colors, and then you can select whether you have the parking grids, and when you move the steering wheel you do get the little sort of lines that tell you what track the car will take. Noticed earlier on that, you know, on a lot of cars, these little guidance lines here, they're normally like, they're either fully red or fully yellow or fully blue. because this is a French car, you've got red, white and blue, or blue, white and red, whatever way the French flag is, and you do, you know, that is the colours of the French flag, which is a nice little touch on there. Car configuration, again, the only setting you get on there is the internal welcome, which is what's that on there. It's going to be a short video today, guys, because that is everything to talk through on the infotainment system. Next up, we'll just go through what all the buttons in the car do. We'll have a quick look at the steering wheel, all the knobs and buttons, and then we'll do the quick interior tour, and then that is going to be everything today, guys. I said it's a short video because there's not a lot on the car in terms of infotainment, but a video nonetheless. Let's get on with it. So starting with the steering wheel, it's a simple steering wheel design because, again, this car is all about saving weight. So there's no buttons that it doesn't need. You know, the aim of this car is, you know, it's still got tech on it, but it doesn't take away that sensation of driving just a pure driver and car driving experience. Steering wheel again, so basics. On the left you have your plus and your minus for your cruise control, also your speed limiter. Obviously press the plus button to increase that that speed, and then press minus to reduce it. That little symbol there, that's not actually a button, that's just to tell you that obviously this side of the steering wheel is for that purpose. Right side of the steering wheel is your speed reset, and you can cancel and restart the system on there. I'll go over to the center console in a minute, because to activate speed limit or cruise control, you need to go down there, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Your sport mode button is also on your steering wheel. If I just start the engine, there we go. So like earlier in the video, we press sport and the car goes into its sport mode. If you hold the button down, excuse me, we go into your racetrack mode. In racetrack mode, the stability control is turned off to allow that little bit of slip in the corner. When you accelerate through the range, you do get your RPM as a horizontal bar, which I think is quite nice. Let's just go back to that screen there. Let's just turn the engine off again because the rumble is quite loud in the car. This is a automatic car with the semi-automatic features on there, so you can use the paddles to change gear, which I quite like in a car of this type. Left there you've got your headlight stick on there. At the moment it's on automatic mode, so the headlights will come on when it's dark. It's not automatic in the sense of you can't spec this car with matrix headlights, so you do have to initiate the full beam yourself, but that's easy enough done just by moving the stick like so. Obviously you've got your indicator on there like with any other car. This stalk there is for your wiper controls, so you do have a front wiper system. What is quite clever as well, the washer system is integrated within the blade of the wiper, which is quite nice. So you don't need to have washer jets or any unnecessary piping through the bonnet or whatnot for the jets, which is quite nice. It's automatic. It's an automatic system, so when it rains, the wipers will come on. The heavier the rain, the faster you go, the faster the wipers. However, you can have it on a full manual mode as well. It has not got a rear wiper, nor obviously as such it does not have a rear wash wipe system, which, you know, during the winter when there's so much salt and grit and horribleness on the road, when your back window gets covered in rubbish, you know, it would have been nice to be able to clear the back windscreen. But again, this car is all about lightness, not having a rear washer system and not having a rear wiper just saves that little bit more weight. It's only a tiny bit of weight, but in car terms, every little helps. So there we go. Down here is your controls for your left and right mirrors. Slide it left and then use the little rotary dial at the bottom to move it. Slide it right, use the dial to move it again. So it's not actually on the steering, it's not on the door again, which means we're talking grams, but every little gram which isn't on the door means the door can be as light as it possibly could be. Moving on over to the middle, so you do get physical buttons, which is quite nice. Starting at the bottom, these are all your climate control settings on here. It is you can have it in automatic mode, set the temperature, and then the car will do everything automatically to maintain that temperature. Although that is your temperature control knob, so you see you've got little temperatures on there. When you do turn the knob, a little light comes on to tell you what that is actually doing. These controls here, so you've got your max. Oh, there we go. As you can see, there we go. The little light comes on when you turn the dial. Let's just turn that down a bit now. There we go. That's it. So your max screen defrost button there. Your rear heated windscreen, and then these little things, little buttons here. So you do up for your windscreen, little middle for your torso, and then the bottom for the footwell, air conditioning button, and then your air recirculation button on there. And then here you've got your fan speed, so when you do go up the fan speed ratio, you can see those little lights come on and the fan speed increasing. Just above, obviously, that's your little vent for the torso. You can't control that, move it up or down, left or right. That is fixed, but it is at an angle of which it will warm or cool the cabin quite nicely. Here you've got some nice little toggle switches. So that one on there is for your auto stop start. So when you arrive at a set of traffic lights, put it in park or neutral, and then the engine will go off. It will start off again when you put your foot on the gas. That button there is your stability control, on or off. That's for your hazard lights. That's for your car locking and unlocking the inside of the vehicle. And then that button there can shut off your little display in there if you did want to just have a tech-free driving experience. I can hear my music playing in the background. It auto plays, so let's turn that off. Moving down, you get a nice little you do quite nice bit of carbon in here. So there's a nice carbon flat which you could put your key. I've never seen a key like this. Apparently it's something that Renaults have had for quite a while, though I've never tested a Renault. That's your key. You would normally get a little pouch which is decorated with Alpine and sort of French colours on there. This is just the raw key minus its case. Again, it's all about lightness. I mean, this actually weighs less than a traditional key, but for this sort of price tag of car, I would have liked something which is a little bit better than what looks like the memory card you get on a PlayStation 2. Nonetheless, though, lock, unlock your boot, flash your lights, and then that little key can just, obviously it is a keyless system, so you just pop that in that little pouch in there, and then you're good to go. These little round dials here for your drive, your neutral, and your reverse settings. Quite similar actually to the buttons you get on the Ferraris. The same sort of layout on the center console on there, which I quite like. Your window controls, left and right, they're in the middle there, which is it's different, but it is a nice touch. It means that the center console has actually got some buttons on it, which at the end of the day I actually quite like. Nice bit more carbon on there, a nice orange stop start button there. And then here you have your electronic handbrake. It does not have auto hold. You do have to manually select the handbrake, but that's not an issue at all. And then these little tabs here, so the right one, that is your speed limiter. To activate the speed limiter, push a little toggle switch down. And obviously when we are driving, you get a little readout just about here, and then you select what speed you want that to be set as. The cruise control, switch it to the other side, and same again, that will all appear on there. That is everything buttons worth, guys. So we'll just do a little quick sweep of the interior. So nice carbon surrounds for the vents in there. That's part of your, that little thing there, that's part of your Focal premium sound system. Moving on down here, this car does not have a glove box. Again, all saving weight. You don't actually even get a little flappy bit of net thing there either. So, and you don't get door bins either. I mean, this car, it's not built to be an everyday. In my personal opinion, it is not your everyday daily driver, because you don't even actually, looking at this thing, get what looks like to be a cup holder either. This is purely a driver's car for driving. You'd use this a lot at the weekend, take it to shows. It is show worthy, of course, definitely, that it resembles the original Alpine A110. Doors, I quite like the doors. So this car is in that really dark blue, which is the same colour on the interior of the car. Nice bit of, again, to remind you are in a French car, the little French flag badge there. A nice little bit of sort of diamond stitching on there, which is quite nice. Obviously, depending what colour car you have will depend on what colour this is. If you've got the really light blue one, that'll be light blue. If you've got a red one, that'll be red, and so on and so on. Moving on, nice little bit more leather there. Contrasting stitching, which is quite nice. More of your premium sound system there. We move on to the leather sport seats, which again, really nice bit of diamond stitching on there. Your matching stitching, which is also quite nice. Alpine on there. Your seatbelt loop, which keeps your seatbelt from dangling all over the place. And then the back, that is the back, so there's nothing there. You do get a bit of storage down here, for your glasses. I mean, don't want to lose my phone down the edge. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, a little bit of storage in there. I mean, you could put a drink in there, although it probably would slide about a bit. Tiny little bit of storage there. 12-volt socket, so you could, if you've got a dash cam, little auxiliary thing, you could put that in there. That is, guys, it. Is there? It's basic, but it's lightweight basic. So it's not basic because it's cheap. It's basic because it's lightweight. It does not have. This is a driver's car for driving. Like I said at the start of the video, this is basically a French Lotus. It's all about lightness. With lightness comes performance, and with lightness you don't need a massive engine. This car, in its caliber, you would compare this car maybe to the 2-litre Jaguar F-Type. You'd probably also compare it to the Porsche Boxster, the 718. It is very much in the caliber. Maybe even the Toyota Supra. As well, but this car is purely about the driving sensation. What you lack in tech and gimmicks, you do gain in just pure driving pleasure, because this car, although obviously it's a modern car, you do get that soul driver and car feeling, which is absolutely amazing, and for a driver, that's what you want. That is everything, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will be back very, very soon with another. But for now, guys, make sure you like, comment, and also subscribe. The more likes, comments, and subscribers means the more manufacturers will allow me to take out their cars. Any questions, also pop them in the comments box. I will happily answer them. But for now, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you very soon. Take care.